This week, we touch on the burning issue of stadia in Zimbabwe, which is a national treasure. Imagine the national team not playing at its home ground. Heads should really roll.
I think government takes precedence. This is an issue of national interest, all right? This is level 1 in terms of national interest, and it should be there to say this is a priority. Politics aside, we know you want to play politics around this issue, but as government, this is a decision that we are making. We are sprucing up Rufaro Stadium, or we are sprucing up, contractors. Government is supporting in any investor in any way, or incentivizing, or whatever the case may be.
This about Rufaro Stadium, and I'll say it again. For me, this is the most important stadium we have in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Not because of its location, no, but because of the significance of what happened. The independence that we will celebrate next month, right, was literally, given there. The colonizer's flag was pulled down there. Our beloved flag was hoisted up there. I think personally, central government should take over that facility.
And of course, everybody in the British media is talking about Jude Bellingham. Can he be as great as Paul Scholes? Is it the right comparison?
Think of once in a generation English players that are exceptional. No, I will speak of Jude Bellingham.
Nah.
You see?
No.
Jude can do everything, though.
No. He's a player who can do everything.
Jude can do everything.
He can do everything,
Jude,
yes, but it's not post level. No.
Dude.
No.
That kid is good,
He's
though.
over. If he was in the British media, if he was playing in the English football, that boy would be glorified, Baba.
That kid can do anything, dude.
That boy is at Real Madrid doing even what Zidane says. I couldn't even do that. He's even wearing my number 5. But this boy, if he can score and do that, you are something else.
So make sure you don't go anywhere. Keep watching Strictly Football.
Yo, Anthony Marshall's.
Para kuenda. Makamuraya career ndachi marakagara.
No, he's left with just this a few months
On his contract.
Yeah.
Or he's a free agent.
He's Samaya. That boy, useless.
I know he's just lazy.
Talented, but very lazy. So you can't have such a player. Let him go.
I remember Pakauya mdalaka yachiuraya Liverpool.
First game, Baba.
Samaya.
But atina anadzani uyu kuCroatia. Croatia anadzani.
Defender.
Lovren na Aga. Wakanzi wow.
Did you guys have this funny Ragnar something?
Yeah, we did.
This is Ragnar what?
Clavan.
Some players that Liverpool have. And there was this guy called Flanagan at some point. I was like, what?
No, but Flanagan was pretty good.
Flanagan was good. Was your typical Scosa kind of a player.
Flanagan had passion.
He had passion.
Thank you.
Those are players.
You know what? You summed it up.
Those are kind of players you need
passion.
to be.
It was just passion. Nothing.
It's the same thing that you would you. I know you will defend the Nevilles, but those are kids that had passion, Baba. Not that they were greatly
exceptional.
Talented. No, but they had passion.
Yeah, get it. Yeah. Well, Phil. I don't even know how he played for money.
The Nevilles.
Yeah, well, Phil, I don't know, but Gary was not bad.
Yeah, but
we can't say.
That's what we're saying.
No, here's the thing.
You need those kind of players in the team.
That's legendary disrespect if you compare.
No. We're not comparing the two.
The disrespect is disrespecting Robertson.
Yeah.
And not think. Look at his stats. Look at
how
he plays.
Let me tell you. Now that you bring that, it then it then qualifies my statement to say Klopp is genius, just like Ferguson was genius.
Or taking average players.
Yeah, when you draw parallels between Robertson and Gary Neville, I would take that anytime. Okay. I'll accept that. Not Flanagan, that's mockery.
No, but
the issue is these two that we're saying we can draw parallels. This speaks to how the coaches were genius. Because Fergie, not only did he win with Gary Neville, he also did that with your Abo Smalling and
that was another cheap
and-
slate.
and,
I think it
and-
was the Figgy.
and the Phil Jones.
Yeah, Phil
But
Jones.
for me, if you ask me,
Where is he?
Chris-
Is he not still at Manchester United?
Phil Jones, I
Phil
think
Jones.
he's coaching now.
Who's coaching?
Yeah,
Not playing.
Yeah, he's no longer playing because yet the problem with Phil Jones, what happened was he got injured.
Ah.
The career could have developed, but he got
Yeah,
injured.
just like how.
For me, I think
now he's also a coach at Liverpool under 21s.
Who's that?
Sparing.
The spearing. Oh.
Mm.
But still,
but
wait,
I
spearing.
think
Do you know what, when he started?
Yeah.
He was a guy before. I don't know Zanuya Newcastle. The ball they did. They were
John
they-
Joshua.
John Joshua. They were the two players that were likely to take over from Steven Gerrard. You know that
I don't even know.
because
that.
John
John Joshua, I will accept, and what John Joshua is actually good.
Jay
But
Jay
the
Pindamuno
other
Baba.
thing that you're talking about, I don't even know who that is.
Jay Spearing.
Jay Spearing.
Oh,
Dude, he was the heart of our midfield.
I don't even know
Jay
who that is.
Pindamuno because he was a Paul Scholes kind of a player. I'm telling you, in terms of
no, change.
No.
please,
Hey,
please.
wow.
Please.
he never
Bevin,
finally
Bevin.
developed to be that kind of a player because of injury. He was, I'm saying, in the mold, his height.
Valentine,
He didn't
his
get to
tenacity.
a scores.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me say this.
Yes.
I think you chose the wrong example.
Ah.
Let me say why.
Well, why?
Let me say why.
I was bringing the example closer to home.
Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
Paul Scholes was a once in a generation kind of English player.
How?
No way.
Let me tell
Those
you.
are
Let me
regular.
What
Those
do
are
you mean?
typical regular
Can I-
English
can I-
players.
can I
Fine,
say it?
fine.
go search these football gurus. Go search who Xavi holds in very high esteem as one of the greatest English midfielders. Go search who Zinedine Zidane will tell you these are
Wait.
good. Listen,
Hold
Paul
on.
Scholes, let me finish.
All right.
Paul Scholes could do everything that should be done in the midfield perfectly. The passing, the marking, and the shooting, everything was a total footballer.
Inzo, this is the same. He's talking about Zinedine Zidane. Didn't Zidane come out and say, you know what, the one player that I wanted at Real Madrid was Steven Gerrard?
Yeah, as a coach, he wanted to coach in Real Madrid. It's not wrong, but I'm telling you, you know what Barcelona players say. There is actually a day that the coach said, we sat down and said, we are watching this guy. Paul Scholes, I don't know, guys. Paul Scholes is just.
That's what I'm saying. You know what my argument was going to be?
But Bevin,
you know what my argument was going to be?
Yeah.
Overrated English players.
I know, but Paul Scholes was actually underrated.
But you get it.
Yeah.
This is, you said English player,
But
not
Paul Scholes.
world player.
Paul Scholes.
English player.
Yeah?
Do you know?
It's the same thing right now where everybody is talking about Declan Rice. All right? As an
But
English player.
That boy is good.
You see now.
But he's
He's
not
a-
once in a generation, is he?
No, not
You
him.
can't be. That's what you're
You know,
saying.
But listen. You know, you go to Fergie. Fergie will tell you. I don't think he'll tell you that I coached more than 3 world-class players.
That's what we're
Listen,
saying.
but one of
That's
the
why you were
players
saying.
that
Now,
he
when you
mentions,
speak of once in a generation English players that
Paul
are
Scholes
exceptional, no, I will speak of Jude Bellingham.
Ah, nah.
You see,
No.
Jude can do everything, though.
No.
he is a player who can do everything.
Jude can do everything.
He can do everything,
Jude,
yes,
yeah.
but he's not Paul Scholes level. No.
Dude.
No.
Dude.
No.
That kid is good,
He's
though.
over.
He's
If he was in the British media, if he was playing in the English football, that boy will be glorified, Baba.
No,
The
that-
boy will
That
be.
kid can do anything, dude.
That boy is at Real Madrid doing even what Zidane says. I couldn't
let me
even
tell
do
you,
that.
let me tell you,
He's even wearing my number 5. But this boy, if he
Listen,
can score
listen.
and do that, you are something else.
I'll accept he's doing very, very well. He's considering also that he's playing for Real Madrid. Yes, you can't take that from him. But what I'll tell you is, when you then talk about Paul Scholes,
Yeah.
no, that's a cut above him. Because you know what, Paul Scholes, yes, he might not have played for Real Madrid or for Barcelona. It was because of loyalty, not because he didn't fit there. Because remember,
So is Gerrard
let me
for
tell-
Man U.
yeah, Gerrard had issues with Ferguson. I think from you. I think is he the one who is John Terry who at 14 Ferguson said no.
No, we're not gonna.
I think it was Stevie G.
Yeah,
I
Stevie
think,
G.
but so it was actually at some. But Stevie G could have played for Manchester United. He could have fit in that team. But my point is, when you talk of Paul Scholes, you're not talking of the kind of talent that you're talking of is just out of this world. Paul
Jude.
Scholes,
The talent that Jude is, eh?
you know, no, it's good to Hazi, but no, not Paul
The
Scholes.
stats over the years will tell you that.
Yeah, but
The stats over the years
You see,
will
the
tell you
problem,
that.
you know why I'm not a sucker for stats.
No, but what I
Because,
mean is
my stats
no. What I meant is not your how many goals has he scored or whatever. The stats I'm talking about is the longevity that he will have that will make him one of the best ever.
Longevity.
Guys, wait.
Longevity.
We're talking about the same Manchester United supporters who were telling us that Mohamed Salah would never reach Cristiano Ronaldo levels.
Exactly.
And,
Yet
and
he has
you know
just
what the question?
steamrolled past it
And
like-
you know what the question is?
wait. So
Relax.
are you telling me
breathe,
Salah is
breathe,
Cristiano Ronaldo level?
breathe.
No, in English football.
In English, breathe.
One thing that Cristiano Ronaldo did was you went to different places and he did prove himself.
Basically won everything.
Won
everywhere where you went.
Get it? Yeah. Then that's why my argument comes now with Jude and Scholes to say Jude went to Germany,
Yeah.
yeah,
And dominated.
dominated that league. He's in Spain,
Dominating that league.
all right, and he will probably come to English football.
And dominate.
You
They
know-
played. What did they play against yesterday?
He's that kind of player.
On Monday they played against Belgium.
Brazil. Look what he was doing.
Look what he did.
Yeah.
When he came, look what he did. Rescued England.
No, it's
Like
just
probably the only player that was playing yesterday.
Hey, there's Kobe Mine. Kobe Mine was the man of the match.
Oh,
let,
all right.
let that boy
Yeah.
grow. Let that boy grow.
Remember,
boy
Jude is
grow.
also a boy. Because
that-
Jude is probably 2 years or 3 years older than Kobe
Yeah,
Mine.
but he's a better boy.
He's a better
I
boy.
don't know how
He's-
better is
Mine
measured.
is more of a ball boy.
Yeah.
And
Ball
Jude,
boy.
Yeah.
What do you
Jude
mean?
Bill,
What
Jude
do you mean,
Billing.
ball boy?
The levels.
Levels.
No.
You'll
see,
be forgotten after
let,
2 seasons.
let me tell you. Let me
He's
tell
black
you.
after.
Yes.
When you
Not even
want,
colored.
if you're going to draw, if you're going to draw parallels,
that?
if you're going to draw parallels, then you juxtapose the name Paul Scholes and Jude Bellingham. No, that's insanity of epic proportions.
No, wait.
Yeah, wait.
No,
That's
it's
insanity of epic
generational
proportions.
comparison.
You know what? You're comparing a legend and a
Uh.
star. Bellingham is
Yeah,
a
but
star.
he's a star who's
Scholes
gonna
is
be a
a
legend.
Who's going to be a legend? He's destined.
He's destined to be a
He's
legend.
destined for-
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
He hasn't reached that stage.
But he's going to.
Well,
No.
He's only
He's
21.
going to. Let me tell you.
He's
something.
only
21.
21.
Let me tell
You
you.
Yes.
he's got 6 more seasons.
Yes.
To,
Can I
to,
tell
to
you?
surpass Paul
Can I tell you something?
Scholes.
Can I tell you something?
For crying out loud.
When Jack Wilshere came onto the scene, everybody was saying this is one player for the future. And if you want to be honest, banter aside, there was evidence from every angle that this boy is going to be something,
Yeah.
right? But somehow it fell by the wayside.
That's why you are mentioning
Said-
Kobe Mainoo.
So exactly, Kobe Mainoo, I don't even compare him to. You know, I see these parallels and comparisons, and I laugh when these guys talk about. You know, this boy is like Clarence Seedorf. Guys, do you know these players that you're talking about? Yes.
His stature, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
even some
His
the
way of
confidence,
play, the confidence and the
it's there,
dribbling.
and the way he moves.
It's
but
Clarence Seedorf.
it's
I think he's watching a lot of Clarence
yeah,
Seedorf.
but it's
If you ask him, I think he's
yeah, it's from a Manchester United fan.
Yeah.
Those were great players. You know, it takes a lot for the players to be there. So yes, we can have similes that you can see, but it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of and nothing is really certain, especially with these players. Here's the reason. When the likes of Paul Scholes burst onto the scene, that's 92, right? 91, 92, when they burst onto the scene. The game was different to what it is now.
No. Yeah.
They were not mega stars. Mega in the sense that even what they earned, the statuses that they had, are not what these guys have today. You get it? So likelihood of these not small, young players failing to get to exactly where they're supposed to be because of the status and the environment at large is very high. You get it? Even though we were just talking about Anthony Martial, that's talent that has gone to the waste. For me, I'll give you another example. For me, Paul Pogba is just one of the best footballers I've watched in terms of talent. But the status, it affected him. And I accept that he came back to Manchester United at the wrong time. All the burden was on him, and the media did not even give him space to breathe. But in terms of talent, that was is super talent for me, because you could literally do everything with the ball and in the field of play. But the status affected him, and one hopes that that does not happen to Jude Bellingham or Kobe Mine, because these are even Alejandro Garnacho. These, for me, these are emerging stars. But
what the difference now is with Jude Bellingham is, you look where he started from, all right, and where he has gone. This has allowed him to have the good step up and step in. You spoke of Jack Wilshere when everybody was speaking about how potentially great he was going to be. You came in, he was young, but at a very big club, which was Arsenal then, you know, and the injuries came in because of the pressure. But with Jude now, the way he grew up, you know, from the league, it's not League One, what was the championship? All right, then to Borussia Dortmund, which is also a very big club. It's a big club in Germany, but not
necessarily very big.
It doesn't give you that status for you to walk with a spring, that kind of thing.
No, but Valentine, this is one of the most supported.
Yeah, it is in Germany. It is, and he managed to contain himself. Then he had the biggest step up, which is at Real Madrid. Now, why Real Madrid is good for him from where he's coming and the journey that he has traveled is, he didn't get into the dressing room with the pressure of having the team on his shoulders.
Yeah.
He came in as a fit-in player, you know, where you had Kamavinga sitting it out. You had
Chouamini.
Yes.
Chouamini.
Oh, that's one fine player.
So you've got Toni Kroos to guide you.
You've got Modric.
You've got Modric to guide you. And he's the kind of player now who will understand and grow. He knows how to protect himself. You know, that's why I'm saying he's going to have a very long career. And he won't have a big head. I would want to put it this way, Valentine. He's likely. Don't say
He's
it.
going to be.
No. Why?
You know what?
We have
tells you.
Barring anything that might happen.
When you say we are not even talking about injuries. No. Even if he's to continue playing, we are saying
these are players.
You can't use these definitive words like he's going to.
What's going to stop Jude?
We have seen. I alluded to.
Because what you are saying is the inevitable of him breaking his leg and never coming.
No.
That would be the only thing.
I alluded to the fact
he's not your average player.
Listen, I alluded to the fact that the commercialization of the game has brought statuses to these young players, some of which are not ready for that. Yes, you can say what you're saying. This is probably his first season, right?
Yeah, first season at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Yes, this is first season at Real Madrid. It probably hasn't kicked in to say, listen,
you can't have that kind of an unveiling.
Let me finish.
And the amount spent on him.
Let me explain myself.
Okay, go. Let me speak.
It hasn't kicked in to say, okay, this is me playing for the biggest footballing club in the world. Listen, and I'm bowling here, and now, you know, the status now comes, and the things that will start following him, right, would then kick in maybe in the season that comes or the other one. But now I'm saying,
you know why I'm saying I'm not agreeing with you.
Yeah.
The first contract that you get as a player, you know, puts you at a certain pedestal. All right. And Jude, the amount of money that was used to sign him, he didn't come in as a fringe player to grow. He's already a superstar, and he's already handling it properly.
He's overshadowing even the man that you think is good at Real Madrid.
I'm looking at the dressing room that he's
Chouameni.
in.
He's overshadowed. Oh, granted, they play two different positions.
I will not.
Chouameni and
I will
Chouameni
not-
and,
I will
and
not.
Bellingham.
I will not disagree with you. Neither will I argue with you. But I'm just, you see, for players like Chouameni, when it comes to me, these are players that I put him in a category where I don't even debate the guy, because for me that's Paul Pogba perfected. That boy, watch that boy.
Oh, we watched him. We almost signed him at Liverpool.
Chouameni.
You remember the last World Cup?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Dominant. He was just
No, I
dominant.
watched him. I watched him
and
against Germany.
the
and
boy-
I think he was playing very
Yeah.
well.
The boy is just I don't know what France, whatever it is that they do to create to have some of those players. I mean, the midfielders that they
Africa.
Yeah, it's simple.
Africa. Guys, we've been blabbering about English football for the past 20 minutes. Zimbabwean football. Hey, the Warriors played 2 friendlies against Zambia. Came from behind. Won that match 6-5 on penalties. Played against Kenya. We lost that one 3-1. Red card for the coach and teenage Hadebe. I have a problem.
with
It's
what?
a friendly. It's a friendly. Ref. What was there need for a second yellow card? I mean, was it not just Dara? Yeah, it's a friendly. No, I will have no nonsense of this again. Remember, you're already on a yellow card. We want to make sure that this is what in a good atmosphere. What's up with the red cards?
I think, Innocent, what you have to understand is the friendly, the term friendly
Was not,
applies mostly to the fans.
but not the players and the referee.
A game of football is a game of football.
Mm.
It has rules.
Mm.
It has everything that you have. You know what? For the players, there is nothing different to them playing in an AFCON final
Mm.
against Kenya, and in that Four Nations tournament
Mm.
that you can term friendly. You for them, it's football is football, and they will not play any less.
Mm.
The match officials, remember, this is a platform for him to market himself.
AFCON.
That's, you know what,
guys.
they may not tell you this, but this is my belief.
Yeah,
This is a platform because the whole world is watching,
he's watching.
and the assessors are watching
Mm.
how you perform. You get it?
Mm.
So at the end of the day, this guy says, I've got an opportunity to show the world what I can do. Though I think he was a bit overzealous in terms of, some gestures that I saw, and I like, but as a fan,
Not in this match.
yeah, as a fan, I would say, I know Mdara friend. But that's these are professionals that are coming to do what will market themselves.
At our expense.
I don't know, but the thing is, friendly is you, me, and Valentine
Yeah.
talking.
But not on the pitch.
Yeah, not on the pitch.
But
Friendly.
Okay, if you're going to advertise that tackle by the goalkeeper on Makali Boni when he came in between the defender and the goalkeeper to get the ball, and you got tackled by the goalkeeper in the penalty box, then the goalkeeper feigned injury, free kick to Kenya. That could have been a penalty for Zimbabwe. And then you're advertising for...
Here's the thing.
You're doing a bad job of advertising, ref.
Here's the thing. Remember, these guys, whilst they, in my view, want to advertise themselves and announce their presence, they're also human. They will make mistakes. Unfortunately, we have not embraced technology. That's why globally the game has embraced technology. You have video assistant referees to help you in those instances, and sometimes the overzealousness can get the better of them, and they make wrong decisions. But at the end of the day, some of these calls, they are at the ref's discretion, and it's how they interpret the laws of the game.
Somebody is awfully quiet.
it's because I'm in shock that you're even giving this guy an ear or something to talk about, because I think he's the worst thing that has ever happened in terms of officiating. And if it was an exhibition of him showing off,
His
it
talents.
was the worst,
Worst
audition that you could even make or come up with, because what he did from the onset. I look at first the first 5 minutes. You know, you look at how he was trying to manage the game, and you look at Tinesh Khatebe. He goes in hard. It doesn't even touch the player. He gets the ball, and the player, because he knows that this player is coming hard, you know, and already blows and flashes a yellow card. And
First
already,
tackle.
this is, like we were mentioning, this is a friendly game. You should show your management of the game.
Yes.
Management of the game is not flashing cards, because you let the game spill out of control at the end of it all, because you're quickly flashing cards. What you need to do is calm down the players, talk to them, stamp your authority. You know, Pelusha Colina was one of those who was able to do that. He will tell you, calm down. Don't get excited.
But you would flash 3 consecutive red cards.
Yeah, because
but he would have mentioned.
you would have talked to you.
He would have talked to you. You
would
didn't
have-
listen.
Yeah, you would not the first 5 minutes, Bevan.
Yeah.
Players, you know, there's a blood rush into their head and the excitement. You need to calm them down. You need to show your authority that I won't have this. You can even call the captains. Come here, talk to your players. This is a friendly. This is how you manage it. Okay, and this is what you need to do. And for him to have done that and give Teenage a yellow card there, I thought, now this is going to be a lousy game. And then moments later, you know, there's a clash again, because the Kenyan referee, the Kenyan coach goes, wah, you know, and he blows, already panics, you know. And I know, and knowing Norman Mapeza, I feel he was really boiling by the touchline. Like, what nonsense is this?
What is this? This is not refereeing.
This is not refereeing. This is not official. And you could tell that this is a man, literally, who call Ashtambani Marima socks. In as much as this was a friendly, you could tell that his decision and how he was fending off Zimbabwean Protestants.
I remember an incident with
so
Masha
the way-
Mnetsi.
yes, and Masha Mnetsi, as the captain,
As the captain, he has the right to come
I mean,
in.
he has the right to go and ask and, you know, protest to the referee. But the way he was just fending out, you could tell that you know, got pay or something, or it was written somewhere in the script that Kenya needs to win this tournament or something like that, because they're desperate for it. And that way, that's why I said the game is lost, but also we should have done better as Zimbabwe as well, in terms of you know, how to manage.
That.
You know, when you see that the referee is not on your side and it's a friendly, there's no need for you to, you know, be over Protestant or also make you know, awful decisions and so forth. You just play with a smile, play to enjoy, in as much as you're being professional, because that's how you relax the body and mind. That's why you find that these players that play with a smile, you know, they are much calmer. You know, they're much calmer. They get to enjoy the game. I know it is pressure time for most lads who had been called in the national team to prove themselves, to say, okay, I need to be in this team come June. I need a call up come June for me to be in the Zimbabwe national team, because the competition is now huge, because the pool of players is suddenly expanded. And now everybody wants to be part of the national team. So we totally understand that, but I think it was poor game management from Zimbabwe.
And this should be a dress rehearsal, isn't it? Because we're not going to go to these other African nations and have it all our way.
But true.
We should have managed that a bit better, Bevan.
Yeah. I would concur with you know, with that. We have to learn to manage, and I think we have enough experience out there from history. What happens in the African game, and how we should then manage it. I think nowadays it's a bit better, because in some instances you've got the assistance of technology. So it makes it better. Like we were talking and discussing how the AFCON all of a sudden was one of the best we have seen, because certain dubious decisions that would carry the day back then would be reversed now.
That will favor West and North Africa.
In North Africa, yes. So that has evened up the playing field. But that still being the case, we also need to accept that that's how our terrain is in Africa, and especially for these boys that are coming, that have not experienced some of the things that they are going to experience in Africa. where you're going to go to a very strange place that is being called a hotel, and you're accommodated there as the national team. You have traveled. You know, you usually don't
Where
see
they'll
this.
be like, they would have bred the mosquitoes and they
Exactly.
just release them into the room.
Mosquitoes as big as wasps. you know
So
what?
that you don't get to sleep.
You don't necessarily encounter this. Mostly in Southern Africa, you don't have that.
we're hospitable, yeah.
In South Africa, you do. There's very little, of that, if ever.
Botswana is now trying it.
You don't get
nonetheless.
that in Zim. You don't get that in South Africa. You don't get that in Zambia. You
Zambia.
don't get that in Malawi. Even Botswana. I'm not so sure he's saying probably.
Yeah,
yes,
after the
visible.
last experiences when Loga qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations,
Okay.
we
Yeah.
experienced some terrible, terrible
I think that one.
gamesmanship. Yeah,
I think gamesmanship came because they also had
yeah.
a chance
A chance,
Yeah.
to qualify.
To
I mean,
qualify.
they wanted it by all at all costs. But I think generally in Southern Africa, you don't. When you go to West Africa, you experience how things can go, sour. They can make the environment, very bad. In North Africa, they hide it, but it's there.
It's there.
I
They
know.
hide it. You probably not see it, but it's there.
It's where they, because I've been there a few times. I've been to Algeria, I've been to Egypt as well, and you look at those countries. They'll pretend like they don't hear you. They want you to use English. And
They use Arabic.
that's why somebody will look confused on purpose. They will like take you the other way instead of you taking you that direction. They will take you the other way and say, no, sorry. When you get that, no, you're supposed to. Then you apologize. But already,
It's just
these
not
mind
defensive.
games are already playing in your mind, and we experience that quite a lot when you go
Remember
to
the Algeria incident.
the Algeria
Kama
incident.
Billet.
Kama Billet, they knew. If it wasn't for the team manager then, that was Wellington Pandare, if he wasn't that streetwise, that's the correct word, streetwise, he was like, whatever you're trying to do, this game won't be played. If that's how you want to, because if you're going to weaponize COVID like this, we tested our players. All right, we've got the results. Yeah, the ones that you want to bring here. Because it had to be 24 hours or 48 hours before so
the
that
game.
you get a COVID test and it gets approved. And then you like, okay, we can have a neutral test right now if you want us to.
do
Then, because they wanted him not to play. Or actually frustrate him to say, okay, probably you're not going to play. And then, sometimes you switch off as a player because of that, tussling and fighting and so forth. And then they finally agree, they pretend, like everything's okay. No, somebody will come like,
The savior.
the savior to the whole situation. They come understand, but already they've ruffled your feathers a bit, and they would have done that to you to unsettle you. And it happens. That's what North Africa does. West Africa is the worst.
Blatant.
It's blatant.
It's not secret.
It's no secret. It's either they'll bring loud music, ladies of the night, and maybe put you in a substandard hotel,
Or more
or
of a
even-
motel that
or
they have
even not
changed
send the
him.
bus to pick you up from the airport, or the delay, so that you can sit at the airport for the longest, and they'll pretend as if there were some problems or challenges of some sort that was beyond their control. These types of games, they happen a lot in African football, particularly West Africa, and then in North Africa, it's more calculated, it's more smarter, but
It's
really
the same thing.
same thing.
So with the kind of players that we now have, you alluded to how the selection base
Pool
is
is-
widened.
Yeah.
These guys, they're coming from a background where things are done professionally.
Yeah.
They don't even know of these things to exist. So we have to deliberately take them through this, to coach them, to prepare them. Guys, this is Africa. This is what they do. Because, I'll tell you, teenage Radebe will not be affected psychologically by these things. You laugh it up.
Yeah.
You say,
Look at when you go to zero. Like,
I know what you guys would do.
Yeah.
You get it. But you're not going to have this with Maswani say, or with
Macaulay.
Makali. They are not used to these things. Because teenage, you grew up playing Kasi football there and whatever. You
And for an
doing
election.
is you get it. So he knows these things. He will not be affected. But these guys now, we need to protect these guys. We need to tell them and to be clear with them that, guys, this is Africa. In some of these cases, you may actually get beaten physically.
Yeah.
You know, you remember 1998, Memory Jiro was getting battered. He could not even play. But the game went on. The match commissioner saw everything. And the game was actually played. Nothing was done. And they knew if we take this one out, we have taken 3 in 1. Because he was the cog of the team. He was taken out. That it happens in Africa. So we need to prepare these lads to say, guys, this is a different environment altogether. Because it's naturally going to affect their performances. These are guys who grew up in a setup where you've got psychologists, you've got, everybody who's going to make you match ready. You are just in
Having
the right
said
concept.
that, let's quickly come to the issue of where we failed as a nation, because I look at
But
this
I
scenario.
was gonna go with the who impressed you first before we
all
take
right.
a look at.
It's fine, because I wanted to link it up with what
All right,
happens
cool.
in Africa and how sometimes mentally we need to prepare ourselves. You look at the report that the normalization committee got from Brito, after the Rwanda matches, in Rwanda. That tells you what we need to do. So if we didn't read that report and condition our players and ourselves as a nation and take it seriously, because there were some areas that are very important that it did touch on in terms of mentally, what do we need to do? Professionally, ourselves as a nation, what do we need to do? What do we need to provide? And how do we take care of these players that are coming in as well? In as much as we say there's always going to be this gamesmanship, and how do we need to say, okay, guys, I always have this respect for South Africa. Yeah, in as much as that's why they've won an Africa Cup of Nations before, because of the professionalism they try to bring into the game. That's why you find Mamelodi Sundowns is dominating now in African football because
but do you
of the
know,
organization.
Do you know Nigerians have got an issue there?
Yeah,
Because literally, I think they did not participate in that tournament.
Which tournament?
The one that South
The champion.
Africa won.
Yeah.
The
AFCON.
Yeah, because they previously they were
the-
coming from winning
Yeah.
the 94 one.
Yeah.
That
So it
was
was
the
96.
issue.
There were
96.
issues
Yeah,
there.
but we were saying,
But then again, I would concur
yeah,
that.
the way you follow up and say, how do you condition yourselves against such, and that's why you find South Africa, they even went further the following year at the Africa Cup of Nations, because they have now prepared their players now, because they're professionalized, and the conditions in Africa, this is what happens.
So how do we?
I had a chat with an opportunity and gracefully to have a chat with Joe Musono. He will tell you these great, interesting stories. About how themselves they've said, okay, we knew these strange things do happen, but how do you condition your players? How do you protect them? How do you make sure that they are wary of these issues around, gamesmanship in African football? When you do that, you'll be okay in Africa. I feel you can go further.
Yeah, but sometimes we contribute to the gamesmanship, don't we?
There you go.
as fans.
No,
No.
not as fans, as administrators.
Usangorongeka.
Usangorongeka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give them a room to do that if you're not organized.
Mm.
If you look at what the Moroccans do, you're never going to employ those funny gamesmanships on them. You know what they'll do? They will come. You book them in a hotel. Say they
Fair
come
and
to
fine,
arrive. They will tell you, okay,
Oh, you are coming
you've got your Crown Plaza. No, thank you for your hospitality. We are going to Mikos. That's what they do. It speaks to how the administration takes the game seriously, and they would have sent a person in advance
Scout, yeah.
to scout. Well in time. So like you were saying, we also need to not to give these guys room for the gamesmanship, and at the same time prepare our players so that they still continue being having this zeal to play for the country in a continent like ours.
Yeah, guys, let's look at who impressed you in the 2 games from, of course, Zimbabwe. I wouldn't be talking about Zambia or Kenya. From our team, who was the standout performer performers in our squad?
For me, I'm overly impressed by Garanganga. Gangling, comfortable on the ball, and good aerial, presence in him. For me, I feel he was outstanding. The other guys, I mean, we have always known John Gerard Takwara, the position that he's playing. I mean, he always impresses.
No. You can't be pardoned.
Okay.
What is his name?
Okay, his name is John Gerard Tungamirai Takwara. All right.
No. You've got your touch.
Wait, I've got to make reference. If you didn't watch our podcast last week, Bevan was stopped mid-sentence. So that's,
Same way. It has to be said
it
properly.
has to be said
Yeah,
properly.
Yeah.
You'll find the link to our previous podcast somewhere.
Like you would not just say Gabalawao.
Yeah.
It was Mr. Even the lower thirds on TV.
It would be Mr.
Mr. Gabalawao. I'm yet to understand what was happening there.
So then we've got Sendami as well. I mean, the lad given a chance and so forth, I think is going to be an asset in the national team setup, and be given an opportunity. And the 90 minutes he played against Zambia totally impressed me, because he tracks back, and for a forward player to be doing that, really, it's quite important. Of course, locally, Walthamsona for me still gets there, but I'm just looking at those debutants that really impressed me, to say, okay, we can have a look at these ones. And Rino Mota, I think, I mean, in that midfield holding role and so forth, I think, for me, those three, really, I feel, we are on to something for the Warriors. I think they will have a long career with the Warriors if they keep up what they did, show in the 2 games that they played.
Bevan?
Well, for me, it's not really an individual. Unless I would probably have to put my head on the block. But for me, it was the whole setup. I know for many out there, because naturally as fans, what we want is to win. You get it? Whenever we play whatever, that's why I was talking about, the friendly thing. But for me, the fact that we had these boys in a short space of time, and we came up with something that can compete against a Zambia that is very solid, because they've been together for a very long time, against a Kenya that is solid. Also, you can tell that these guys have been playing together for a long time, and we had to bring in a lot of new players into the setup, and quickly I personally could tell that if with longevity and consistency, there is something that can be done with this team, and there's something that can be achieved with this team. So I was particularly impressed rather by that, the fact that we had a very short space of time, but we could come up with something that could even get to the finals. So I know, because for fans, what matters most is the result. Is us winning. But I think the final result is a clear indicator of the fact that we had just come up in just a short space of time, and there is gelling that has to take place. I'm impressed by the fact that we could have that, and of course there are a few you can just then mention, like I would personally go for Walthamsona.
Oh, he was impressive.
You see, Walthamsona, you also want to look at who is he playing around. Playing around the players that are playing in France, you've got people who are playing in Stade Reims, you've got people who are playing Reading, Leicester, and you've got these guys, but you go on to perform. Look at the goal. I mean, that's a masterpiece. That level of confidence is just good for me. If I'm to single out a person, but there is room for the likes of Junior Makudike to impress. There is room, you could tell. So at the end of the day, what I pray will happen is we have longevity, we have continuity. If we are going to stick with Norman Mapes, I don't have a problem with that. If you're not going to, I would say bring somebody in time, that they get time with these players, that they get to know and the players, and put up a system that's going to stay for a long period. Because remember, most of these lads that are coming from the diaspora, these lads, they're young. They're very young guys that needs, that still have a lot in terms of years to play. So we need to have a system that for the first time, let us have longevity, let us have consistency, let us not just chop and change.
That's what we do. And I already noticed even on our social media platforms, statements like warriors, batanga futhi vakomana vaya. We're running away from the fact that you know what, it's a friendly. The coach is new, the players have just gotten together, and it's a new system. We have to get used to the new system, and for us to say that we're going to be a powerhouse in Africa, we need to have a system that we have. And that system, over the next 8-9 years, we're saying, all right, for this year, you won't qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations, but for the next 2 years, you have to qualify. That's a group stage. Next Africa Cup of Nations, quarterfinals. Next Africa Cup of Nations, finals. We've got targets that are there, and we've got systems in place to make sure that happens. Valentine, you...
Yep. I understand the Zimbabwean fans. It's the hunger for success that we have, and
it's okay.
Yeah, which is okay, and they need that. These are supporters, but I'll also blame, the technical team that went to Malawi for this tournament, because they got these fans to say these things. Because because they didn't take it as a friendly, I believe. In all honesty, especially in the final game, you play against Zambia with a certain set of players. All right, they give you the result that you want. You've got this large pool of players that are there, and mostly relatively new. All right, and you've had an opportunity to 3-4 days, 2-3 days to really look at different combinations, what you need to try. Tell you what, Innocent, if the technical team yet totally changed the team for the final, and
that result wouldn't
have mattered, because it would have been clear what we want to do,
Right.
A system that we want to create, and why we participated at this tournament. It was an opportunity for Zimbabwe to look at some of those players that are being touted across Europe, and those that are being encouraged as well to play for Zimbabwe in particular. So that's where I'll blame the technical team for them for the result that came. All right, you know now. Okay, it's first half gone. Why not make some changes? It's a friendly. Yes, it's a challenge tournament. You've got players that flew in just to sit on the bench for 2 games and not have an opportunity to have a look in. Yes, you might have had a look in as a coach and said, probably he won't fit. But did you try him in a proper game? How this player will exert themselves. I know sometimes players take to instructions differently from the coaching ground and to, the actual playing field, And why not try that to show that, okay, this is what we are trying. In as much as the scoreline has to be respectable, the result has to be respectable, be it friendly as it may. But let's get to the results. But let's try. Let's be brave. We want coaches that are brave, who can take risk, because I think sometimes when you take high risk, there's high returns as well. That's why other nations are successful.
But that would have never happened if we had a substantive coach. Is it not the case
exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm
dress
saying.
rehearsal or audition?
Which means whatever we are doing, Innocent, all right? There was no clear instruction from the normalization committee that appointed this interim to say, okay, we are giving you this pool of players. Can you assess? Your mandate is to assess for us, in as much as you're not in a substantive position for the national team coach. But that would have allowed the substantive coach to have given them a call, later towards June. Okay, we appoint a coach maybe May or April, whatever the case may be, to say, no man Mapeza, you were with these lads. What do you think of so and so, so and so, so and so? And also the coach would have what? Watched them play. Okay? You might ask the coach, but you also have what? Watch the players play. So now you've got a clear indicator of what you want personally as a coach taking over. You're not only going to rely on Norman Mapesa's word or coming from the training ground, to say, okay, all right, Tavazia, this is how he plays, all right? And his weaknesses and strengths are like this, but you can see them. Okay, I see that's how he plays. Okay, with technology nowadays, yes, you can follow up. But give them in the national team setup. Give them opportunity, So which means there was no clear indicator. We did not know. We didn't plan. We were just fulfilling an invitation that we got for a foreign, and we're just like, finally we've got a friendly that,
Now we must show that we are good.
We must go there, and do something. So there's no clear plan of where we are going with Zimbabwean football. Yet we say to ourselves, we are taking a hiatus, self-inflicted suspension, to say we are mopping up and cleaning up Zimbabwean football and improving Zimbabwean football. And those results come and are seen with national team, the senior national team delivering, to say, okay, there's a certain step that we are taking as a nation. Now, you ask me today, what step did we make since the normalization committee came, looking at what we did in Rwanda and now at the Four Nations tournament? I still feel that it's zilch, zero. I think
we have
taken steps backwards.
Didn't we have a get to know the stakeholder in Mutare or something?
We did all that, all right? But where are we? Are we even implementing the suggestions that came? We are not. And Brito gives you a report. All right?
What are you doing about it?
What are you doing about it? Okay? What are we doing about, conditioning and the refreshing of players? Yeah? And we didn't do it with this team. It's a friendly. Refresh the players. Bring in the new lads. Refresh the squad. Yes, there are those that consistently you want to look at. The retaining Divine Lunga, the Sorensons that are coming in, you want to see, okay, we can give him more time because we've known this player. Let's see how he's going to fit in. So I feel, yes, there are things that we're not doing right still, and we're losing time. And for what? I will always bemoan the 4 years I think we've lost as Zimbabwean football. 2, to COVID. 2, to self-inflicted. 4 years. So this is a generation that has been lost. But God, being God, loves Zimbabwe, smiles on Zimbabwe. You've got these diaspora kids that are coming up who are doing well. He says, okay, you can cover that gap. And what are we doing? We're flushing that down the drain.
No, put it this way. The problem for a coach is the diversity that happens amongst fans, in the sense that there is a fan that will give you the Valentine dimension to say, play these boys. This is a friendly, for crying out loud. We need these lads to have a run around and stuff. You get it? Then there is a fan that is serious, that is telling you. No, I'm not to say it's not serious.
You're not serious.
I mean it. I meant in the context to say that kind of fan that always wants to win.
Yeah,
he's never going to them. There is no such thing as friendly. As long as there is this bet, they will tell you, no. We have to win. We don't tell me about that. We have to win. This is when they will tell you, these fans, if you go by ranks, if you move around the wood and stuff, this is the general discourse you're having. They're these fans that would always want to win. It makes the coach's job difficult. But I think to remedy what Valentine was talking about, we are presented with a very unique setup now, whereby most of literally we can have first 11 based in the UK and Europe. First level, we can do that.
Yeah.
So do you know what that speaks to?
Mm.
It's easier now for us to have friendlies
Yeah.
in Europe,
Mm.
whereby you are probably leaving this place with 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody else is just converging somewhere there. We can still have, and friendlies is not necessarily us playing a national team. We can have a friendly with
We can
Reading.
play Rotterdam.
Yes, it's a friendly. What you want is to assess these players and make sure that you work on the combinations. So whoever is going to come up or to be, given the job substantively, it should be given that room to say, okay, periodically we can go, not necessarily playing these national teams. I think we can have a situation whereby we have memorandum of understanding with some of these clubs in Europe that we have got certain periods that we probably would have these friendly, especially when the schedules allow. We can have the coach travel if the coach is from here. We can have him travel with a few local best players and others from South Africa, and to go and play friendlies there, so that, because there is no way you perfect a team other than having the players consistently play together. So at the end of the day, if we don't have that, we will have problems, and the coach will always get the stick. But sometimes it's how we, like he's talking about, how we plan our things. It's how we make use of opportunities, like the 2 years that he is referring to that we were banned. There is nothing that stopped us from having, games. Even those boys in the diaspora, they could probably have been flown in to say, okay, we are doing this. We could play friendlies even against Dynamos and a local PSO select. All you want is for combinations to come up, and for these lads to have an appreciation of what the environment is. Because I'll tell you, by now they don't even know, because they are yet to play in a full or almost full national sports stadium. It's different.
Yeah,
it's totally different. Because yes, they were in that facility, and they played in Malawi. But when you come here,
it's
the
different.
atmosphere tells you there is great expectation here. So I mean, if we should also constantly be exposing these guys to the environment and how it is.
Guys, let's spend the next 4 minutes talking about the under-20s.
Yeah, I was going to come to that.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to, because my point with what Bevan has just alluded to, in terms of us being systematic, in terms of the expectations of the fans. I think sometimes we have to be bold and brave, and say, this is what we are going to do. We are going to take a stick for this long, but we are going to be taking
our
it
our
for
aim
the right
is this.
Yes, our aim is this, and I think that's what we should have done. This is why I would also, bring in the most controversial suggestion to say that I feel Zimbabwean football, especially at the highest level, at national team level, we are not yet ready for local national team coaches, in as much as they are the most successful in terms of making us qualify for Africa Cup of Nations and
Why do you say
one
so?
or two, three trophies regionally. It's because of how toxic the system is.
Right.
The influence of the under-20, what happened within the under-20 squad, where you find those with academies had so much influence, and got not the lads that are competent enough, to represent the country. If we look at locally, some of the players that were sidelined, that missed out to be part of the under-20s. In this instance, where you find the local big influential academies, you had their players that they wanted to, go and play, and those ones that don't play for local clubs, without academies and so forth, were totally left out. That's where you say to yourself, where are we going? Now you will find that for the national team as well, an international coach will sit and given ample time to assess and enough resources to say, okay, these are the pool of players available to you. Locally, you've got everyone. international, this is our database of players. In Europe, we've got so many. Go for 2 weeks, go into England, travel around, all right? Go to clubs, ask, find out, do your information, your investigations and whatever, assessments, and get your stats and so forth. Because that's how scientific football has become, you know? And with that, you take away the influence of these local agents, these local academies, the influence that they have on local coaches and so forth, you know, so that we don't get to miss out on these big opportunities. Because I think that's where the challenge and the problem with Zimbabwean football is. That's why I preferred Brito to say, yes, he was now understanding the system, you know, and in as much as he had his assistants, that's why he had reservations against some of the assistants within that way assigned for him. That's why you always say, bring your own backroom staff, not these Mbatanizwa kind of
And
backroom.
why is it that we...
where you say, okay, you are going to be a coach, so we are bringing in so and so for you to assist you. No, if you're a coach, take full responsibility. Write down who your backroom staff, so that when you leave or when you get fired, everyone's out.
You take everyone,
Because
and no one's gunning for your
football has
job.
become that very professional. Even from the medics to the physiotherapist. If you're a head coach, you decide. Because you know how you want to condition your players. You know how you want to play. You know what you want, the diet, everything. You know, it's you. It's on you. This is how important a role a head coach's role is.
Bevan.
Well, I think what Valentine is referring to, correct as it may be, is premised on non-existence of structure in our football. Because if we had structures in place in time, we are never going to handpick the players the way it was done. If I own an academy, I can be pardoned for pushing so hard to have my players in the national team. That's where
my
they get,
academy.
Of course.
that's where they get seen.
You can't fault them.
You get it. So what we need, we don't. Have you heard of the under-17 coach? Have you heard of the under-23 coach?
Even under 15.
You get it. So at the end of the day, we've already jumped a stage. Well, we can say it was in fulfillment of an invitation, but what that speaks to now, let's keep this Marangi guy whose charisma somehow got my attention.
Of course, yeah.
He's
he got mine as well.
I think we need to give him time and see. Maybe
Allow him to
we need to
resource
assess-
him up,
Yes,
so that he implements what his
exactly
vision.
what he has. But then let's also go down to the under 15s. Let's go down to the under 17s, so that you're going to have the guy who's playing for the 17s coming from the under 15s, the guy who's in the under 20s coming from the under 17s, with the guy who's under 23 is coming from the under 20s. So at the end of the day, what that does is we have got continuity. That's why, yes, people will argue the national teams that we had back then did not win anything, or some of which did not qualify. But I still rate them as stronger than even those that qualified, personally, if you ask me. But it's just that there's a difference in the context, maybe at how the AFCON qualification was and the setup was. But you know what brought, what made those teams stronger? It was because it was not their first time playing together.
Yeah,
You
they
get
knew each other from even the under 14s.
That's what we want. Let's progress
Under
along those lines.
10s.
The biggest problem we have in Zimbabwe is our serious and too much concentration on the Warriors senior national team, forgetting everything else. Yet this is the final product of a boy that is 5 years old, that has gone through the mill, that has been prepared to play for this team. So what we need is to have structures that are, religiously followed. To say, if we have these boys, they have to play. There is no harm in having the boys in the diaspora who are under 20 come to play these tournaments, because they will be part of the senior national team with these guys. So what we need is to have these guys, or to carry the players from here to play tournaments there. The Zimbabwean community in the diaspora has grown big. We can have tournaments being set up to whereby, if possible, players move from here to there. Even on the ticket of the association, a select national under 20 select goes to play with the under 20s that are in the diaspora. What we're doing at the end of the day, Maranga will have enough time to select his players who will play for the national team.
So basically, what
Just
we're
an
doing.
example, the easiest one, Zambia,
Mm.
the team that won the Africa Cup of Nations. Look, and the continuity that they have now, you know,
So Peter Sunzu was there.
Was
That's
there.
2012. He's
Yeah.
still playing.
is still playing. It's the continuity that you have and the structures that is making reference to that will give you success. You won't reap what you didn't sow. Simple as all that.
So basically, what we're doing is that we're concentrating on why our dam levels are so low, without looking at why tributaries,
of water,
the
yes.
sources of water are coming
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
That's rather sad. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Next week we are back here again. Bevan, you've got something
Yeah,
to say?
I think
Yeah,
next week, even when we come next
I-
week, we still have no stadia in Zimbabwe.
Yeah,
to watch the national
because
team.
I'm about to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
Innocent, you're forgetting the local premiership. That's
Wait.
you can't do that.
I remember being told January,
January.
that the National Sports Stadium would be ready for national team by June.
And
There
I
is
got
talk
told
now-
this week
There's talk now that it won't. be
it
ready.
won't be ready.
Then I think you will be pardoned to smell a rat.
There's something
Think
wrong.
maybe someone somewhere benefits from this setup, because what is it exactly about the National Sports Stadium that makes it not ready? But then, because if it's just bucket seats, I don't think that requires a month to.
I was talking.
to
I was
set up.
talking to Jeff. You were saying that that's just mold, plastic mold.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing, Innocent. National Sports Stadium, when you look at the facility, that thing was built way ahead of its time.
Mm.
That was commissioned 36 years ago, 1987. And the major thing that they talk of as in being missing in that is the bucket seat,
The bucket seats.
right? How much are the bucket seats such that we
We
it's the
can't.
moving of the dressing rooms from the other end to the other
and
end.
that's
That's
there is space, by the way. There is enough
There's
space to do that.
to accommodate that.
In fact, everything that you want to do at National Sports Stadium, there is space. In fact, that's the most underutilized facility that I know in this
It's a
country in
white
terms of space.
elephant.
It's a big white elephant. I mean, if you, it's shocking, really, to say just the bucket seats. I mean, just to have water there, and put bucket seats.
And the pitch.
The
How
only
long
pitch-
does it take to
No,
get
To
up?
improve the pitch.
Guys,
improve the
let's be
pitch.
blunt
It's
and-
less
and
than a month.
you know me, I always shoot from the hip.
Mm.
This is the time I would accept this, that we're not going to be playing at home in June, when we have the minister's resignation letter on our table, or at least the SRC chairman and its team, their resignation letter to say we have failed the nation. Why am I saying this? Because we need to be serious as a country. We need to set our priorities right. All right? We blabbed about, what was wrong with Zimbabwean football, which means there's something wrong administratively by those administering sport in our Zimbabwe. All right? And the watchdog for Zimbabwean sport is the SRC, as well as the minister. All right? So if we are not achieving some of these, small little things that bring pride to the nation, all right, like playing our football at home, what will be the problem for us to have assessed Barberfield Stadium to say, okay, we know Rufaro has got issues, or maybe whatever the case. What are the chances of getting Barberfield Stadium?
That's the thing.
So what is the problem? Why is it that we want to build a
new
50,000 seater stadium? No.
He's right.
Why not say, Magaya, all right, you build this beautiful piece. Yes, it might not accommodate the national team, but what did it take?
Yeah.
If an individual
Can do that.
over 6 months of a plan can achieve what he did, what of a nation? What of a nation? To say, why can't we build a 15,000 seater so that we make sure that our national team
He's playing at home.
is playing at home?
Yep. building for me
renovate.
is actually a
I-
problem.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the national sports, when you look at Rufaro Stadium, when you look at
Baba
Baba
Field
Field,
said,
there is not much that
needs to be
really
done.
has to be done in terms of sprucing up to meet the CAF standard.
Yeah, well, if you say that, then City Council, Harare City Council, are just gonna come to you. There's
Solve-
a lot.
solve the
Rufaro
solve the
Stadium.
politics
Yeah.
around it. Solve the politics around it. I think government takes precedence.
I've
This is an issue of national interest. All right, this is level one in terms of national interest, and it should be there to say this is a priority. Politics aside, we know you want to play politics around this issue, but as government, this is a decision that we are making. We are sprucing up Rufaro Stadium, or we are sprucing up, contractors. Government is supporting any investor in any way, or incentivizing, or whatever the case may be, anybody who wants to take over. Didn't one of these big companies and
did.
individuals want to renovate Rufaro Stadium?
They
What
did.
stopped it? It was the city council. But you go ahead and say, priority number one, this is a national issue. This is what we are doing.
I've said
Why
this.
can't we do it?
I've said this about Rufaro Stadium, and I'll say it again. For me, this is the most important stadium we have
Yeah.
in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Not because of its location, no, but because of the significance of what happened. The independence that we will celebrate next month, right? Was
First.
literally, given there. The colonizer's flag was pulled down there. Our beloved flag was hoisted up there. I think personally, central government should take over that facility.
Simple.
Should take over that facility because
If we're serious.
it has
It's the same
serious
as
historical
the National
significance.
Heroes Acre, isn't it?
Exactly.
It
You
has
can't
serious
allow that.
significant, and by now we're going 44.
Yeah.
44. I think that stadium should have been improved even in terms of capacity. Should be maybe around 35, 40,000, because there is space
For
to
that
do
expansion.
that.
to do
Gosh, then I'm just thinking there should be a museum as well. Pictures of Bob Marley, the celebrations.
You get it, because it means so much. I don't think in Zimbabwe there is a day that
It's
that
a
is
facility
bigger
even
than
artists would want to come and perform.
Exactly.
International artists, you monetize that. Because at our independence, the legendary Bob Marley came and performed there.
yes,
You know?
Rufaro Stadium. So by now,
Why not?
I would advocate for a situation whereby the central government takes over that facility and it's spruced up. The national team can play there. The same thing with Baba Field. Not necessarily the central government to take it, because the context is different to what I was referring to
Yeah.
about Rufaro. But let that facility be spruced up to a level whereby the national team can play there. And it
Now
meets-
you
it
are
meets
taking
stuff-
away this thing of centralizing, the national team only in Harare. Now you know that the national team on certain games take them to
It's
Bulawayo.
called the national team,
It's
not Harare team.
It's the national team. So take it there. And now you can start having plans to say, in terms of our infrastructure development, I hope this will be included in NDS2 if it comes. All right. To say we should have a national sports stadium in every major city in Zimbabwe, that could potentially host the national team, so that the national team can be taken everywhere.
Even celebrations for independence, innit?
everywhere, like what we're
Yeah,
doing with
yeah.
our independence
The-
celebration.
Those are going countrywide. now.
Countrywide, and this is part of the devolution process. All right, this is how you kickstart the devolution process as well. And I hope those that got ears and influence are watching this episode, so that, because sometimes we don't speak about these things, we want to say, they know. But sometimes it's about speaking about these things. That's why I was brave enough to say we should expect some resignations, because it's about issues of accountability. Yes, the minister can say, I've done this 1, 2, 3, and maybe my lieutenants or others are failing to implement what we have decided. So let heads roll. If we are not going to have heads roll for the national team playing away from home in June, then
it's
we are not
bad
serious
PR.
about Zimbabwean sport.
It's bad PR for the nation to say Zimbabwe is playing in Zambia or Zimbabwe is playing in
Bad
South
PR
Africa.
for the
Can
nation.
you imagine the ridicule that we will have if we're
Imagine.
going to play in South Africa?
Imagine. The embarrassment.
The
And
embarrassment.
this is the same embarrassment that we were running away from when we got ourselves suspended for 2 years. It was part of it. If we look at it, because they were like, so we don't have, so this is an opportunity for us to
to fix things.
to fix things. But have you fixed things?
But didn't National Sports Stadium go through some renovation?
You just hear
What
the-
renovations
you
when you
just
take
hear
when you
of-
do the wrong things, when you take what you call it, the media's center opposite direction of the VIP. Who does that?
yeah, that was a bit strange. Where
That's
you know,
unforgivable
'cause-
errors.
because-
Heads must roll.
wherever you go, you never get the media station where they put the media.
Ufake
cubicles.
media empankwini. Empankwini.
It's wrong. But I think we need to sit down and take sport seriously. To say, sport can change the economy of this country. Sport can change livelihoods in this country, and be serious. Because I've always argued, innocent. Most of the people that you see milling around and doing nothing, I sometimes blame it on the system. Albert Einstein said, if you're going to judge a fish by its ability to climb trees, you're going to think it's stupid the rest of its life. But there are guys that you see beating people around in town. If you have harnessed that ability to beat and put it into a ring, you'd have your Mayweather there. You've got guys who usually these guys who don't get tired. Those touts that don't get tired. They're running up and down the whole day. Harness that energy onto a track.
Let's see what he does.
So most of these guys, they belong to those areas where you talk of their natural talent, boxers, runners, swimmers, and everything. So let's take sports seriously. Let's have the facilities. It's said. We alluded to this sometime back in our past episode. You've got Magamba Hockey Stadium and a White Elephant, Aquatic Complex in White Elephant, Kumalu Hockey Stadium, it's a White Elephant. The National Sports Stadium is turning into a white elephant.
In fact, it is a white.
It is a white elephant.
Because there's
What
nothing
does it
happening
do
there.
besides house SRC?
Wait.
You guys-
Hold on. Where's the SRC offices?
At the National
National
Sports
Sports
Ndine mvunzo. Saka ivo panenge when they're driving into work and then they
That's
see
why we say people need to be fired.
they
There's
are okay with it.
Yeah, here's the thing.
People need to be fired.
Here's the thing. I think we the sport policy, I think it has to be relooked at. The sport policy in this country to say, I think I implore though the legislators out
We
there,
overrate ourselves.
let's relook our sports policy and see that this is no longer recreation. This is now serious careers for people. Let's take this seriously. Let's have legislation that is serious regarding sport, so that a lot of people who realize their livelihood. Most of the guys that we celebrate as millionaires, some of which are not. Some you'll be shocked. Some can't even write their names because it's not about academics. It's about what they can do on the field of play or on the court. You get it?
In nemvunzo. Vamwe mamillionaire varikutengera vanhu motya.
There you go.
Hatina kunovaudzawo kuti mungoisawo mabhaketsi.
National interest.
Yeah. Tobva tanema one part of the stadium.
This is the creativity now that you're bringing in.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, because when you go,
Imagine
you
if
can
one
see, you can
stadium
get
is
Sir
known
Alex
as
Ferguson.
for the next 5
Stay.
years is known as a weakness.
See, weakness. Engeribo.
Imagine if it's known as that. Naming rights.
Yeah, that's
We spoke about this when Bevan did speak about
And you know what?
the stadium in Chitugwiza there. The naming rights. So if you've got, why give them?
It's still yours.
Still yours.
But it's just the name that
It's
has
just the
changed.
name that they've given to it for their pride, because said these people who've got money, they want to you have this, what we call it, self-actualization and satisfaction as individuals who have good money.
and they've got
Ndakazviita
egos.
izvi.
They've got
egos
egos,
that have to be
ndakazviita.
soothed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know? So
Ndakazviita.
when we constantly say name the to bring their names when we're talking about this stadium. Say Innocent Manyenga Stadium.
I am going to make sure that stadium looks great.
There you
It's
go.
not going to be dilapidated when it has my name on it.
But
Trust you me.
it comes to creativity that Valentine alluded to. You have to know how to talk to these guys.
I think
You have to know the context within
I
which
think the craft competency of people that are getting these jobs is quite wrong. We are employing the wrong people altogether, or we are appointing.
What's up with you appointing seniors? Thank you guys for joining us here on this
There you go.
podcast. But, yeah, sport is not good. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. We back again next week, so please join us on Strictly Football.
Keep playing.